12.57 volts. Yep, not very charged. I gotta say, I'm very happy with this. This is definitely worth $15. And it's working like a charm. Quite a while ago, I really made a nice score. For $15, I got 10 of these 6" by 6" 0.5 volt, 5 amp solar cells, or photovoltaic panels. That's about 40 watts for $15. That's not bad, and that was including shipping. But unfortunately, these are almost useless by themselves. The thing is, the solar cells themselves are extremely cheap. The thing that makes solar panels so expensive is the housing that protects them from the elements. So that's what we also have to work on. At first, I was going to use this steel shelf that I found. It would fit the cells perfectly. We'd have 5 by 2. That'd be 10 total. And we'd have this plexiglass over it to keep it safe. And then I would just seal it up with some silicone sealant or whatever, and it should be pretty good. But then I discovered I had this. This is from a funeral home. You would have the person who died, the picture of them in there, and like saying what they did or something about their life or whatever for the visitation. But this was in the trash. It was free just because the locks were a little bit broken. But I think that would be perfect for my solar panels, because all I have to do now is seal it up. I just add some sealant around here, which this pushes in because it's spring loaded on the other side, so I could always easily change out the plastic or whatever, or actually take out this foam right here so I'd have more surface area. Then on the back over here, this is wood, so that would probably not be too good in weather, but I could spray some really heavy duty paint over it. Now this is foam core board, and foam core board, it's plastic, so it won't let water through. So I think this would be a good way to start to house the solar cells. Since I lucked out with that, now let's work on tabbing the solar cells. Tabbing is whenever you put the wires onto the contacts on both sides. As you can see, I've already tabbed this cell, and I have to say, it came out pretty good. I just used 20 gauge wire from an old power supply that I took apart, and I'm only going to connect them on the bottom row, because all these squares are connected together, because this is the positive side, and all these ones are connected together. That's the negative side. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to take each cell, and I'm going to hook 3 wires coming out the bottom. That way I can take them and I can lay them over each other, so the bottoms of this one can go on the top of this one, and I can solder them onto here. That's a pretty good voltage. Unfortunately, I'm only going to get 5.5 volts at the max, because I only have 10 of these in series. If I would have actually thought right, I would have bought 3 sets of these. That way I'd have 30. And I could actually charge a car battery directly, but as it is now, I'm going to have to use a step-up transformer to bring the voltage from 5 volts to like 15 volts in order to charge a car battery. But oh well. Well, that didn't take hardly any time at all. That's pretty awesome. I think that'll fit perfectly, and I can always have room to add 5 more cells if I get them. Let's see how that closes. That's going to be awesome. So now it comes time to make this thing waterproof. I'm going to use some of this Loctite Stick and Seal outdoor adhesive. I'm going to attempt it at least. I don't know for sure if this will work properly. It'll take 24 hours to cure. I'll put it on the inside along here, and I'll put it on the corners where these 2 bits of metal meet. So I'll put it along here, and I'll put it all along on the inside, and then on the outside. Let's get to work. So while this front part is finishing drying and curing, we'll work on putting the solar cells onto the back panel. First, what I'm going to do is I'm going to solder them into 5-cell chains, and then we'll put those two 5-cell chains onto here. Now, instead of actually connecting the cells themselves to the backing material, because if I were to use like sticky tape or something to connect the cells to it, they're so fragile that I think if I were to try to take them off to use them for another project, or if I try to change it a little bit, it would most likely break the solar panels. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the cells here, and I will put zip ties around the wires connecting the cells. That way the cells aren't directly held on here, but they're held on by the wires. So if I really need to get them off, I can just clip the wires and take them off. So now I'm going to attempt my zip tie method and see if it actually works. And there you go. Pretty solid. Or at least it's as solid as it's going to get. The sun is almost down. Let's see what voltage we get. 5.4 volts. Not bad at all. Now I'll switch over to the amp setting. Half an amp. That's not bad at all, especially for this lighting right here, because we don't have, it's basically in the shadows. So here's the finished item. I took some foam core and put it here so it would stop the plastic from putting pressure onto the solar cells, and they're held on with the zip ties. I have the wiring coming through here to some holes in the back, and I just got a little jumper cable connecting the ends down there because it's not going to be holding that much power. It is a very nice day today, and we have plenty of sun. There's like a few clouds, but oh well. It's a nice day to test out the solar panel. So here it's facing the sun, and I have this little 3.5 volt to 30 volt step-up transformer. It'll take in anything from 3.5 volts to 29 volts, and it'll put out anywhere from 4 volts or 5 volts to 30 volts. So I'm using this. I'm connecting it up to here to step up the voltage. Let's connect it up. I have it turned off, and now let's slowly bring up the voltage so we can see how high it'll go. So it's peaking at about 350 milliamps of current. That's not too bad. Then again, it is pretty cloudy today, so maybe on a fully clear day, it'd give more power. What I might do is just have this on, have this panel, which feeds 5 volts, charge 4 volt lithium-ion cells, and then I'll set it on like a sensing circuit. So whenever the lithium-ion cells get close to full, then this will turn on. It'll drain the power from the 4 volt lithium cells into the 12 volt battery, and then this will continue to fill it. Because as it is right now, I'm going to have to adjust the amperage setting depending on how bright it is outside, because when it dims, this isn't given enough power, so the voltage drops and it kind of messes up. That might fix that problem. But still, it's doing pretty good. Ooh, it's coming along nicely. I say let's take this battery off, since this one is mostly charged anyway. Let's try a different one that most likely isn't as charged. 12.57 volts. Yep, not very charged. Let's see where it goes. Well, it's going pretty good. It's already 0.2 of a volt above what it was before. I was thinking, see, I'm wanting to use that to charge my electric bicycle. Okay, so my electric bicycle, with its first 9 amp hour pack that I made last year, it went 20 miles on that. That 9 amp hour 48 volt pack was 442 or so watt hours. So 442 divided by 20 would be about like 22 or so, I think. Yeah, about 22. So for every mile with my electric bike takes 22 watt hours of energy. That means that this thing, every like 5.5 hours that it runs, at least 5.5 hours that it runs at full power, it'll give me 1 more mile on my bicycle. Now that my solar panel is working, I'm going to build myself a charging station out of this old late 1960s or early 1970s petrol pump. I think that'd be pretty awesome, and pretty ironic that it would be now serving electricity instead of petrol. I figure I can put a couple deep cycle batteries in there, or what I can do is I can build a box next to it that'll hold all my batteries, because I'm just going to throw all my batteries in there. It'll have about 1200 amp hours, which is quite a bit, because I have about 8 truck batteries, a bunch of small ones. It'll not only keep them charged, but it'll also act as a power bank. Where I'm going to put it is over here, because underneath my wood pile, I'll finish burning off all that stuff this summer, and I'll put it on the big concrete slab that's covering the well. That'd be perfect, because I'm not going to be moving. I'm not going to be filling in the well anytime soon. And then I can have a wire up on the tree going over to the house, where I might have the solar panels up there. Or I might have them somewhere else. I haven't really figured out what would be the best spot. I may, in fact, put the solar panels over here, because this area of the yard doesn't have that much blocking it. What I might do is I might put a stake down on the ground and have it going up about like 10 foot or so, and have a rotation thing so the solar panel can follow the sun. I'll have several of them, that way I can mow around it and it won't really get in the way of the yard. Well, anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching. See ya! That thing pulls 2.5 amps. That's pretty good.